Praise the Lord. This is ProphetessKalisha, and I am excited for tonight. I made a post on March 28th, right after the Oscar situation, and when I made that post, it was like it exploded over 10,000, right at 9,000 people posted on the first one, and over 4,000 on the second one. And so let's look at the first post and let's look at what I said. And let's because I want you guys to see what that first post was. I said, I don't think Will Smith was crazy or need help or counseling. Jada hair is not short by choice. Rock was wrong. Do your homework. Almost 10,000 people commented on me saying that. And to be honest with you, it was almost split between men and women. I mean, I think you had some women that kind of was on the same side with the men, but almost all men was like, nah, you know. So and so that was my very first post, and I was kind of like, okay. And I kind of said, because a lot of people thought that I said that it was okay with what he did. That's not what my post said. You know, I just know that people labels someone, when somebody do something wrong, then there's a label pressed on you. You crazy, you this, you that, you know, and so that's why that was that post. That was what that post meant. So then the next post that I had placed, I'm waiting for my daughter to get to this post. The next post is the next post that I put on. I met, I didn't meet, but one of my classmates, one of the gentlemen that I went to school with in high school, made a post and everybody started liking it, you know. And on my other page, over 4,000 people was like saying stuff about the post. And so I was like, you know what? I need to go live. Because even when I had private conversations with other women were saying one thing. And I know we got to be, especially when you're in the spotlight, you know what I'm saying? You have to be politically correct. Like you got to say, you know, Will was wrong, right? You got to say that, right? And it is true. He slapped a man on TV, and that's called assault. Y'all know I was in law enforcement, hey, you know, and I know that's what you got to do. But my next post said this. I want you guys to see this next post.
For centuries, women have stood by men after cheating and fought for their marriage. It is great to see a man do it publicly, letting the world know letting the world know this is my wife. And then I hashtag Will Smith, and I hashtag our theme for the revival of last year. Last year, at the end of the year, the revival theme was this year is about the family. So I kind of hashtag what I said at the end of the year with the whole, you guys saw all the family and all this. Go ahead and take it down. And everything. So without a further ado, I want to introduce my guest on tonight from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This man is actually, I kind of did a little more research because, when you graduate, you don't know where they at and what's going on. And he is a family man and military. I don't know, Jay, how long was you in the military? Are you still in the military or?
No, I'm a police officer in Baton Rouge. I'm a detective, actually.
Listen, okay, so how were you in the military?
4 years. Army.
4 years. 4 years. What branch?
Army.
Okay, and I thought, I didn't want to say because it's different things that happen in people's life. So 4 years, this man has been in the Army. Both of us was in law enforcement. Well, I was in law enforcement 2.5 years. I'm an accountant by trade, but I was in law enforcement for 2.5 years during the pandemic. And so I am honored to have you here today. I am grateful that you accepted my invitation to come on and talk. So I want to go to Mr. James' comment. He said, after I said, okay, let me remind you guys of what I said. For centuries, women have stood by men after cheating and fought for their marriage. It is great to see a man do it publicly, letting the world know this is my wife. Okay, that was my comment. And then James Webb, my guest on tonight, he said, for some reason, people still don't get it. She cheated, yes. Many women cheat. The problem was she put it on TV, opened him up to years of mocking. That's what led to this overreaction. We witnessed a great man whose career could be over at the highest point because of toxic women. And he fortunate that the case caused, we know many graves still filled with men who tried to prove how many graves, he said, how many graves are filled with men who tried to prove love to a woman like this. I applaud Chris for being a bigger man because I'm not. That's a level of embarrassment I couldn't endure. So that whole protecting your woman mantra is a joke. The way you protect your woman from words is to keep her reputation intact. Don't disrespect her. Have other women laughing at her. A year ago, she broke that man, and now he doing stupid stuff to prove to her that he's worthy of her. And the sad fact is, she should have protected him because she did not. Because she did not, she is unworthy. She is the unworthy one. And several men commented under that. They agreed with that. Women, I saw women like it or whatever. So that's why I invited Brother Jay on. If you want to explain what you said and what you meant, I'll give you this opportunity now.
Well, I simply meant that a lot of people was thinking that, he was protecting this woman, or he was, protecting her honor or something like that. Going up there and behaving like, the average hoodlum. And that's not him. He has a reputation. He's been around for, 30 years. I mean, so who he is. He's not built like that. He's not a thug, anything like that. But the way he reacted in that particular scenario where a comedian made a couple of jokes, made a joke, and he went up in the middle of, of television and slapped this man, There was no cause for that at all. That level of response was not, necessary. He could have said what he said afterward. He could have said that, and that would have sufficed. That would have been an extreme measure. But it seemed like Will overreacted. And the reason why I think he overreacted is because for the last year or so, he's been getting berated. I mean, I know you've seen the memes. I'm sure everybody's seen the memes where he's sitting up there, nearly to tears, trying to hold it together, while his wife tells him that she was in an entanglement with this young guy who's a friend of her son. He and they I'm sure there was some word about it, but you don't talk about stuff like that out in public. You don't do that in front of everybody, and for attention, because that's really all it was for. They said it was to clear up rumors. No, it's for attention. So basically, you broke this man down in front of the world. Now he doesn't have any armor because we all carry armor. You know, privacy is armor. I go out in the world. I put my clothes on. I'm hiding myself. I put a macho persona on because I'm protecting myself. I don't go and tell my secrets because I'm protecting myself. That's just in general. I got to have this armor on to go out in the world and be the man I'm supposed to be now. And so she stripped that away. That private part of our life, their lives. She stripped that away and exposed him. So now he's been walking around like an open sore for the last year, and people are gonna poke at him. You're gonna poke at him constantly, and eventually, that's gonna cause an explosion, just like it did. And
Okay, now I'm gonna go in a minute. I'm gonna go to a video by the real, and they basically Before let's go to the video for the real. For those out there that don't know what happened, I don't know why you don't know what happened. Everybody talking about it, but I want to show you what happened, and then I'm gonna let y'all listen to what I'm gonna pause it. We're not gonna go through the whole thing. It's 11 minutes. I want you guys to go and watch it. I feel from the female perspective, I would say even about 98-95% of the women out there, 100% of the women that I've talked to, not a woman in a private conversation with me said differently than what all these women said on here. So I want to go to this. So for those that don't know what happened, and I want you guys to hear the commentation of what the women on the real said.
This past weekend, we got a chance to see the stars of Hollywood walk the red carpet for the Oscars, but the award ceremony took a very interesting turn when actor Will Smith went on stage and smacked comedian Chris Rock on live television. Take a look at this moment.
Taylor, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. Oh, Richard.
Wow. There it go.
Will Smith just smacked it out of it. Wow, dude. It was a G.I. Jane joke. I'm going to, okay?
Well, while we all witnessed the smackdown heard around the world, many are feeling as if Chris Rock deserved the backhand for taking shots at Jada Pinkett Smith. But on the other hand, some were very disappointed by Will's actions. So ladies, what are your thoughts on this one? I cannot wait to hear.
I'm still like this from watching the clip. Wow. I think the rest of the world was too. Yeah. I felt what Will did in my spirit. And I don't know if it's because I'm now a mom and also married in a healthy relationship. What we witnessed in public was a Black man defending his wife in public amidst the risk of losing job, amidst the award we knew that was coming up, amidst risking arrest charges. And we all know what Jada was going through, especially with her hair. This is what I just found out from this. And that's sad that it has to happen this way, but I only know because I heard Jada speak about alopecia for a while.
Yeah, me too.
But what I didn't like is that you could see in Chris's eyes when he spoke on it, he gingerly went for the joke out of his eye, like, I'm gonna go here, like trying them, knowing that he was going there. And then after he dished it, he still even looked like, okay, we good, and he kind of withdrew from it. I feel like if you're willing to take a risk, and tell me, I'm so interested to hear the comedian perspective, but when you're willing to take a risk at people personally and you hit at their family members, especially the Smiths that have gone through so much ridicule already, especially just recently, the last award show already with the entanglement question, like, how much do you expect this man to take about his family and his marriage? So what I saw, and I ask you back when it comes to wives out there, what do you expect your man to do when it comes to protecting?
What do you think?
It's so many emotions that happen that night. It's so many different things. Okay, so this was personal. Chris has done this before. When he was hosting the Oscars, he lashed out at Jada and Will Smith. So I believe, I don't know for sure, that there was probably some conversation. It's like, dude, stop it. Then, to your point, Jeannie, he puts out the book, the entanglement thing happens. He's going through a lot, and he said it in his acceptance speech.
Right, yeah.
That it's, you know, we are expected to hold up to a certain standard.
Yeah, yeah.
As a comedian, I would not have done that joke on Will's night. Will was sitting front and center for a reason. And for you, all the people that you could joke about, you looked at this one woman who you've already done. And you could tell, and for a minute, Will was gonna let it slide.
Yeah.
But
He
when
was
he saw,
laughing initially.
he was laughing initially, but when you see
your
Jada,
pain.
then that's when it hit him.
Yeah.
Now, when I walked up and hit him, no, I probably would have stood up. I probably would have did something like that and verbally said something.
Yeah.
But we all thought for a minute, oh, this is, you know, he could walk up and, you know, he could have walked up to him and said something. But I think Will has been going through so much in this country and being ridiculed and being mocked that sometimes you snap. Now, the thing is, this is the problem with us. And then I'm gonna let you ladies speak. You got the black side that's arguing it, then you have the white side. I'm just being honest, okay? The white people are looking at this is assault, this is a mark on the Oscars. Let me tell you something. This is not the darkest moment of the Oscars. You know what the darkest moments are? When Halle Berry was kissed without her permission from Adrian Brody. When Hattie McDaniel, who was a nominee for supporting actress, was not allowed to sit with her cast in an all-white theater. Yeah. Don't come to me talking about this is the darkest moment, because it was not.
Okay, all right.
Very dark moments in Oscar history. But as a comic, I would have never.
Okay, so y'all is very good. The other women comments kind of flow the same way. They do say that it's not right that he was assaulted. I was in law enforcement. Officer Webb is in law enforcement. So the assault part, that's hands down. You don't, when you get to a certain age, like I tell my children, when you in high school, and some places they're not even in high school, but when you in school, in elementary school and whatever, and you hit somebody, you hit them back, you get put out of school or put in the corner. When you an adult, that's an assault. You know what I'm saying? And you get in trouble behind that. So, but across the board, at least about 90%, 80% of the women that I have talked to. Now, even if you look at Whoopi Goldberg, if you look at her comment, she kind of danced around. The other lady kind of went somewhere with it. But for the most part, most women is kind of in the same place that, you know, somebody gonna take what you say to them so many times. And Brother Jay, I want to say that I saw what he said on the Oscars before. And immediately when I saw it, that's what my mind went to. When Jada and Will was boycotting the Oscar, Rock said some stuff about she wasn't even invited anyway. And he talked under her clothes. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where my mind went. And so that's what my first post was about. My very first post, talking about he not crazy and all that. Because what they'll do is label you, you say you crazy. Just like somebody was talking about, oh, because of his daddy abused his mama when he was 9 and he still carrying all that. So I knew that that's where they was going to go with it. So that's why I post that post. It was not me condoning. Listen to me when I say, and I'm not talking to Officer Webb when I say this. I'm saying this to all y'all. I was not saying it was okay. I posted up under my post that it's not okay to slap somebody. It's just not okay. You know, from a woman's perspective, though, and I'm gonna say from me and all the women that I talked to in a private situation, and even a Hispanic woman today was bringing me home. I was in the back of the car. She was driving me home. And I asked her, because I wanted to know, because I done talked to a lot of black women, and I talked to the Hispanic woman, and I talked to a white woman, and I talked to all of them. And I asked the same question. And y'all, not a woman told me different. They was like, he dished it, he should have took it. He was supposed to stand there and take it. And all the men was like, I would have knocked him out. Brother Jay, what you got to say?
Well, you know, why all the women are, that's they glad it happened and everything like that, because it is a beautiful, excuse me for a minute, give me just a minute. Weber. Yes.
So while he's getting his phone call, I noticed that, my other post, the reason why I post my other post, and I'm gonna let Brother Webb come back and say what he was finna say, but my other post, well, let me just stay right here. The Kanye West situation. The reason why I post this post, I don't think Will was crazy and all that, is because, with Kanye going through what he's going through with his wife, or the wife he's divorcing, I don't know if they divorced or not, what the whole situation is. She's with a whole nother man, infidelity. And even though it's supposed to be over, he's being labeled crazy and all this kind of stuff like that. And I know that he went through some things. His mama died, and he went through some things. What I didn't want them to do is put them in the same category. So that's why I wrote this first post. Is he ready? His brother Webb is ready? Okay. And so I really wanted to point this out. I really wanted to say that, listen, because honestly, I done asked so many women. The Hispanic woman today that I was in the car with, she said, I dealt with hair falling out. She said, and y'all know the Bible say a woman's hair is her glory. Is he there? Okay. And so when you're talking about a woman, especially black women hair, I can't talk about other races, but I will say black women hair, we don't play when it comes to our hair, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we don't like when you really joke about it or whatever. We really don't. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't care, but most people do care, and I think that just like Lonnie said, I think that there was a conversation. Now, my daughter, I wish I could have found it before we came on here. My daughter said Will said it, that like I went to him and talked to him about it. Like I went to him and said, stop cracking jokes on me and my wife. You know what I'm saying? And he kept on, like he went on and said something else. Like this to me, everybody go to the August thing about it, but I don't think it's the August thing. I think it's the fact that the disrespect that he did. Is he there? Make sure. Okay. And so that's kind of where I was going with it. I would just kind of talk about it. So let's go ahead back to the clip with the reel. Let's go ahead back to the clip with the reel and finish it off. And then, no, Brother Jay is back, right? Let's bring him on.
Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm a detective. A couple shootings just happened. But anyway, basically what I was saying is women are gonna all, be, it's flattering. It's very flattering to know that, you got an alpha male, to put on display that, ain't nobody gonna, do anything to her, it's very flattering somebody go out there and, put on a show for you. Because that's all that really was. It was a show, and
why you say it was a show?
it was a show because he slapped Chris Rock. Chris Rock made a couple of jokes. It was a show, you know. He slapped that man and immediately turned his back and walked off. If I slap somebody, it's a fight 99 times out of 100. It's a fight. You don't turn your back. You don't do that. He walked
That's
off.
real.
And then, you know, he put on, you know, more, and we know he's not like that. He's not built like that. You know, he's not, you know, he's not a tough guy. You know, he's never been a tough guy. And Chris Rock, also not a tough guy. So he walked up there and slapped him, you know, and it's a display. So
now I will
you know,
say this though, Jay. I agree with you. I believe that Chris Rock really in the front of everybody kept his composure and controlled himself very, very, very well. Like you couldn't see, you saw shock on his face, but you didn't see hurt or anger, or he didn't display any of that. Although I didn't watch the Oscars, but from what I hear, he never came back. Like he was supposed to be hosting, and he walked off, and he never came back.
Yeah, that's too much to take, you know. But he is not a person to fight anybody. Everybody knows, you know, Chris Rock is not a fighter. I mean, he put out a show. Everybody hates Chris. It was basically about a kid who's not aggressive. You know, he's somebody who's dealing with, you know, bullies and things like that. Most of Chris Rock's comedy, you know, show. Look, I'm not a fighter. You know, he cracks jokes to deal with the environment. You know, to deal with the situation. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. We didn't expect him to jump on.
So you know. Did you hear me say the part about he done that before?
Who Chris yeah, that he cracked jokes on him before. But you got to keep in mind that's a comedian. I mean, as a matter of fact, the best comedians, and Chris Rock is considered you know, one of the top of the line comedians. You know, Kevin Hart, you know, what's the little one name? Little Pimp, Cat Williams, you know, those are the guys. And if you don't crack on people, you're not going, you know, that's the game. That's what you got to do. You got to see what's in the news. They watch the news, see what's going on, and they crack jokes on them. That's
Listen to what you said though. I felt like Chris should have done his homework. Like when he said the G.I. Joe thing, I mean G.I. Jane thing. If he would have done his homework, he would have knew that wasn't what he should have said.
Well, he was going,
and it could have been on the whim, because you know, if you speaking, a lot of times, a lot of stuff ain't you practice to say that. You act, it was on the whim, you know. But from what I hear, and my daughter said, there's a video out there where Will said, I told him to keep us out of our mouth. I told him that. Now, my next message was, I said, this is where you come in at. I said, for centuries, women have stood by men and are cheating and have fought for their marriages. It is great to see a man do it publicly. Letting the world know this is my wife. And I said that because nothing to do with, because to me, it didn't have anything to do with what's going on. I didn't think it had anything to do with when people talk about August, I didn't think it had anything to do with them fight. You know, I didn't think that him hitting him had anything to do with August. I didn't think it had anything to do with him. So I post this to say, I wasn't talking about Chris Rock on this post. I wasn't even talking about him slapping Chris Rock on this post. And I'm saying this because I really want people to understand that. I really want people to understand that when I put the post, for centuries, women have stood by their men after cheating, it wasn't even about the slap. It was about the fact that no matter what, now, honestly, when I researched this after even putting this, he just had an interview with Oprah's best friend. I can't think of her name right now, But when he had that interview with her, she said, okay, when your wife cheated, she had the entanglement. He said she didn't cheat. When she said infidelity, said we've never dealt with infidelity in our family. In our marriage. Why? Because Will and Jada had an open marriage. So, and I want to point this out as well. Jada did not put out about her in August. August put it out. August put that out. And they, trying to get on top of it, explained it. Like they had a conversation about it. But Will and Jada had an open marriage. So you don't know how many women this man has slept with. So now that you're back, Jay, I'm gonna bring you in. I wanted you to know that. I wanted to say that to you, that I did not, when I did this post, it wasn't about the slap. It was about the fact that, everybody, what I kept saying was memes about August. He should have slapped August and all this and all that. But Jada didn't cheat. Like, she didn't step out on their marriage. And that might sound crazy for me to say that, but when somebody is in an open marriage, some people say yes or no who you can mess with, or it's, baby, this is what I'm finna do, and this is what I'm finna do. I'm muting, Aubrey. So that's the thing that what do you think about that?
When they said at the time, they so much as the open marriage. I hear everybody say that, but I never really heard them say it. But at the time, they were separated.
They have.
That's what they said.
They have said.
Well,
what is Oprah's best friend name?
Gail.
They just had an interview about it probably a couple weeks ago, and she brought it up, and she was like, he said we never had entanglement and infidelity. Mm-hmm. Like, because it was agreement, and they have talked about it. I've seen it where they went on talk shows and they've talked about that their marriage was open. Now I don't know if it's open now, but
have you ever heard of anybody that Will slept with?
Well, I don't think we would have. The answer is no. I don't think we would have heard of the thing with August if August didn't go public. He went public. And because Jada was on Red Table, when she was doing Red Table, she responded to it. See what I'm saying? It wasn't like she brung it out. It wasn't like she got to the table and just wanted to spill her guts on something she did wrong. August talked about it, brung it out, and was, saying what happened between him and her. And they responded to it. You see what I'm saying? It's not like they, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. But see, I watched that video again today. And I watched this man squirm and the fake laughs, trying to, bring some jovial sense to the conversation. But and even though, they're saying they were separated and everything like that, she kept on saying how she was broke. And she was broke and she needed something right there. He's sitting there thinking, I'm the person who's supposed to, give you that. I'm supposed to fix you and everything like that. And she was basically saying she needed to go to somebody else to get fixed, and that was the repair.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a real question. Are you married, James?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the picture of your family. I did post a picture of you and your family. I wanted you guys to hear from him that he's married. As married, I'm not married now, but I was married. I was with my kid's father for 17 years. I've had entanglement. And so did my kid's father. Now, me and my kid's father have been together I've been knowing him since I was 13. We started dating when I was 18. I don't know if you remember Kim. Me and Kim was best friends. It was Kim's cousin. And keeping it 100, sometimes when you are married and you're trying to talk to the person you with, they are not there for you. Is it right? So when me and my kid's father was young, we did stupid stuff, right? And then we moved out of state. We sat down at a table and we said, no more. We're not going to do this anymore. And I meant it, okay? This was over 12 years, 13 years ago. I meant it, but he did it again. So myself, I done been there where my kid's father had issues. And I felt like you destroying our family. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not condoning what she did. I understand it.
It's a different, what they did, you know, that's one thing. That's one thing totally separate and divided from. I work with a lot of domestic situations.
Right.
As
I know.
a matter of fact, in my office, I'm probably dealing with like 50% of the cases, you know, that we deal with or have some level of domestic issues, right?
That's right.
Okay. But one of the things when you're dealing with a domestic situation, you have the tendency of people to tell about their business. They tell what's going on in their business, right? So when most of the time is the female, so I'm gonna go with that. The female will go and tell all her friends what's going on and everything like that. He messes up. She go and tell, yeah, he out here with this girl and that girl and get this girl and everything. He beat me, he did whatever, he did all his dirt, right? Okay, that's this week why they're mad. They're upset right now. So she go and tell all of the business now, but then next week when they're happy again, they're back together again, she done told this girl, her friends, being her friends, don't like him now. They know all of the dirt he done. He was like, you stupid to go back with him, girl. You shouldn't be doing that there. All this kind of stuff that, he's just going to do it again. Chances are he's going to do it again, but if you'd have kept that to yourself, you're not supposed to go outside and tell all of this stuff here. You tell them that, because now when he comes around, they looking at him all crazy and everything. He don't even know they know. He might suspect, but he don't know they know. So they looking at him crazy, and just like, just judging him. Even though, she didn't tell what she did, and she's not going to tell what she did. That's just the way it is. Same thing with him. If he's telling her, his boys, but guys are different, we don't.
And I agree with you, because there's the truth, and we know that. There's his side and her side. And, even though it might be what I think the truth is, that ain't always the truth. So, and what Officer Webb just said is, during the pandemic, him and I can tell you, the highest crime. Now, the worst crime that is out there is domestic violence. It is the number one crime that has harmed the officer. And so that's why when people say, we need to do something else with this here, for real. When people say, why did the officer react a certain way when they went to somebody's house? I'm finna say it again, and I'm not condoning it. Again, y'all hear me? I did not say it's okay for the stuff that has happened at people's home. That ain't what I just said. What I'm saying is, the number one cop killer, okay, the number one harm that has happened to cops is domestic violence. And when you say domestic violence, that's not husband and wife. Everybody want to say that. It's not just husband and wife. It's whatever happened at your domestic. That's with your children. That's with your sister that's living with you. It's domestic. It doesn't matter. It could be mama and daughter. It is something that cops deal with every day. And I'm telling you, like he just said, it'll be 100 when you go there. And man, you don't even know. Then, I'm going off topic a little bit right here. One time I had a call, and this woman, you would have swore this man had done beat her. And he had did all kind of stuff to her. And because domestic violence is so high, and I'm talking about a black woman. So and I'm saying this because, you got the race thing, and that happens. It is true. But I was like, so we like, oh man, blah, 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 blah. And then when it boiled down, she jumped on him. We
So that was
saw
awesome.
him, we saw her, and she had done jumped on this man. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that because you didn't see any bruises on her, that she wound up saying, yeah, I was just mad. And I did, he didn't do it. And we got people going all over where looking for his license plate and doing all this stuff. And you are the violent one, you know? So
and then they both will turn on you in the middle of it. You think it's cool and everything, and they'll turn on you together
listen,
in the middle of the
don't
whole
take him,
scenario.
don't take him. Wait a minute. You called us to break up the fight that you want to stay in. I mean, that's whole that's probably something. I'm talking about bring some officers in uniforms. We need to talk about it because I have a whole different perspective on that because I lived it. God allowed me to live that for 2.5 years. And I saw some stuff. And I'm gonna say it like this because in the area that I was in, it was predominantly white and Asian and Hispanic. That we got a lot of phone calls from. I didn't get a lot of calls from African-American people. And so that's a whole nother story right there. So, but I want to ask you this question. Do you at all think that what Chris Rock said was, we talk about the physical abuse that Will did. I feel like Chris Rock verbally abused, and I know he's a comedian, but you know, I think even like the lady said on the reel, it's kind of like he kind of was feeling it out. He was trying to find something to say and feeling it out like he knew. And there is a message out there where Will actually said, I told him don't say nothing to us. Keep us out of his mouth.
What he said was out of line. She has a illness that causes that, that makes that out of line. But I mean, as a comedians talk about slavery jokingly. They talk about lynchings. They talk about anything. The beauty of a comedian is to take something that on one hand would be tragic, something that would be a negative, and turn it into a humorous thing. And that's his job. I mean, and this guy here, he done made jokes, that other people didn't want to hurt him, But every comedian except maybe Kevin Hart, made a joke that made somebody want to punish him. That's just is what it is. I mean, so yeah, that was an inappropriate joke, and other jokes he's made are inappropriate about Will Smith, about whoever else involved in it. Maybe Will is not used to being a butt of the joke. He's used to it now from the last year or so. But just in general, it's been a lot of. I mean, if you go and check the internet today, you're gonna find far more offensive jokes than the one that he did right now.
I agree. I don't think that honestly, I don't think that he knew she had alopecia. I don't think that it was intentionally. I think he thought he was giving her a compliment. I thought that he didn't think that she was gonna take it that way. I do agree with that. But on the other hand, if this man told you don't. You know what I'm saying?
No, we still live in America. We still live in America. And freedom of speech is there, and that is the whole thing of it. So you can speak and everything like that, and I can speak and say what I like, and you can't come hit me. This is not how this works. I mean, you can't even do it.
Right.
I mean,
right, nigga, you can't be slapping me because I said what I said.
Yeah,
but verbal abuse is real though. Well,
mm-hmm. But you have to have
like they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's not a true statement.
But abuse only happens when it's consistently. It's not. You can't. I can't. When I go and stop somebody, for whatever reason, whatever, and they cuss me out for those 5 minutes, or whatever, that's not abuse. These people are just, they upset they got a, ticket, or they got whatever they got. They don't want to deal with me out. But I'm not gonna file charges for verbal abuse or anything, and I'm not gonna slap them. Although I could, easily, but I'm not gonna slap him, because I can't do that. You cuss me talking about my moms or what have you, you know how they say, you can take that badge off, I'll whoop that, that kind of junk there. They deserve to get slapped, but I can't do that. That's just not how the way it works. And then we're grown.
Right.
We're grown. They know for a fact though, if they would have put their hands on me, what it is.
Right.
But they're grown. They know better. And the same thing with Will. There's no excuse that's available because he didn't protect her. He avenged her. She was in no harm's way. That is protecting. You
She
protect her.
was
She didn't
though.
protect
Well,
him. No, she didn't. No. He if
you
she if
talking
he
about
protected her,
physical harm.
that's what physical with physical. Verbal with verbal. You can't protect somebody from words. I would like to see you protect somebody from words. It's going to be a losing battle. You can't. I'll say another
Well,
word.
I mean, I bet he ain't gonna say nothing else.
I bet he will. I bet you he's going to say something. I bet you there's going to be so many people that's going to say something. She has just made herself and Will Smith the butt of the joke.
Why you making it on her though? She ain't do nothing.
You seen that look she gave him when because he was laughing at first too. This is what you got to do. You know if you go to the front row of a comedy show, you better have a thick skin because you could be the next target and everything. And the smart thing to do is do that fake laugh. You better do that fake laugh because if not, it's gonna continue and it's gonna get worse. So you have to just sit up there.
But I went, yeah,
you got me.
I don't know why when I go because I went to I was at my graduation thing at Langston and I can't think of the guy's name right now, but he's an older guy. He got up and he was cracking jokes. And you know me, I always dress a certain way. I always walk in the room like me. I always been like that even when we was in school. And so he was like, she come here like she owned the room, and he just went on and on and on and on. And he was just saying stuff, and and everybody was laughing. And the thing that I didn't like about it, because at this point, when I stand up, everybody is going to be looking at me. Mm-hmm. And at this point, everybody is going to watch everything about me. Like when you say stuff, then it goes into, people looking at you and that kind of stuff like that. But even though what he was saying, I mean, I was beautiful, I was whatever. But I still kind of felt like, oh my God, because I wasn't feeling good that day. I was going through a divorce, I was going through a divorce. I had to pick myself up to even go to the event, and when I get there, this guy is standing on the stage, and it happens to me all the time. I'm being honest with you. I go somewhere and somebody say something, and I'm not just talking about comedians, but it could be, whatever I'm at, somebody will say something, that shit, something like that or whatever. And that night I was feeling a certain way, and I didn't want people staring at me, and I didn't want, I didn't want it. Like I didn't want the attention, and I'm the type of person, and this, I sit in the front, I don't mind the spotlight, what I'm saying? But this particular night, I sat all the way in the back, like, what I'm saying? I sat all the way in the back, like I was on almost one of the last tables in the back, but I was dressed nice. I was dressed really nice, or whatever. Langston, I had my Langston colors on or whatever. And, I just wasn't, I didn't feel beautiful, even though I did everything that looked beautiful that day. I didn't feel beautiful, and so I can't think of this man's name, but I was trying to think his name. And he did that. And of course, when I stood up, there you go, people look at you because some people probably did see me, but once he pointed out, everybody looking at you. And so I remember getting home, asking my daughter, do I look beautiful? Did I, I was really kind of questioning myself through that. So as a woman, I don't think it was her fault. I think if my kid's father, when we were married, or any man, let me just stay off of him because it's been that long since we've been together. But if any man sitting next to me, we together, and somebody assault me or abuse me verbally, and I felt abused verbally, I probably would look at him too. Like, to me, Will Smith laugh wasn't real to me. I think it was a, I'm in the front row laugh. Whether it was real or in the front row laugh, once he saw his wife, you can tell. Now, everybody go to August. I don't think this had anything to do with August. I just don't. I think it had everything to do with him and Will. Because if you go back and listen to that Oscar comment that he made the last time they was in this position, it was low. What Rock said was real low. It was real low. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I really want, if you have any final comments of what you believe and how you feel about it, I really wanted to get on here and talk, because I think it's very important, number one, for a woman to hear what you said. You're not just a man, but you're a married man. You got a wife. You know what I'm saying? You have a daughter, correct?
No, 2 sons.
2 sons, a wife. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a mother of 5 daughters. And again, I personally don't. I think it was wrong. I think it was assault. But number one, I most definitely don't think it was her fault. I think it was him defending his wife. I do.
Well, I think he overreacted. His response
Absolutely
was way over the top. And I think the
Absolutely.
reason why it was way over the top is because he had something to prove to her. He had to make a grand gesture to her. And under any other circumstances, that could have gotten him killed. Any
Right.
other place or whatever, because that level of embarrassment, if you walk up, Mike Tyson could walk up to me and slap me in the face. If it's in private, we might discuss it. But if it's on television, it's in public out there, that's an ass whooping I might have to take. That's simple as that. It's gotta be.
We could beep you out.
My bad. But that's something that was a famous line from Richard Pryor. That's another comedian who's known for talking about people. But
Right.
And
we do know that. I don't think it's just. I think if Rock didn't do what he did the last time, I don't think it would have been this.
What he did yesterday. He's on a tour right now. I guarantee you, he cracking you crack jokes about whatever in the media. Whatever going on, whatever at the top of the headlines, comedians go through looking at the paper. So when they was boycotting the Oscars last year, that was jokes on many of comedians' mouths. That's everywhere. And when she did the stuff with Alcina and come on the red tape and everything like that, that was jokes everywhere. All those comedians. He didn't go and stop anybody from talking about that. She didn't come, and try to defend him and everything. No, that's jokes. If you are someone who is famous, you have to deal with that. That's just an obligation. That's something you have to deal with. Every talk show he went on, they was like, so about this entanglement. Yeah, really? He's on every Facebook all over the place, entanglement. I've seen it and made a video talking about, entanglement. This is what an entanglement is and everything like that. That's everywhere.
Right.
So those jokes hitting left and right and everything, he's no rookie to getting made fun of. That's not there, And so us saying, he was defending her, no, there was jokes every day, all day, from every direction. They got that. He was laughing, he was laughing, and I think he might not have heard the full joke, but the way the camera's working and everything, he might not have heard the full joke. And when he did hear the full joke, we probably, okay, it kind of wiped away from him. Then when he looked over at her and seen the look on her face, he had to do something about that. And so he had to take it to the extreme to prove I'm worthy, And so in that moment, that was her job, because it's not just his job to protect her, it's her job to protect him too. So when she see how upset he is and him going up, hey, stop, hey, look, I got it, ain't working, everything like that, that would have had the same effect as him slapping, her holding him back,
I don't think nobody thought he was gonna go up there and hit the man.
He wasn't gonna give him a hug, you knew that.
Wait, okay, let's think about it. Think about what you're saying right now. How many award shows somebody crack a joke? Let's like say David Mann. He was in the audience, and I can't remember. Somebody was standing on the stage, and he was cracking jokes on David Mann. David Mann went to the stage, and when he went to the stage, they went back and forth cracking jokes, and that wasn't a game. They both was going at it with jokes. So with both of them being comedians, I don't think the reason I believe she wouldn't allow him to went up there and hit him if she knew he was gonna hit him.
If there was anybody in the world who knew what he was going to do, it's her. There's nobody who knows you better than your partner. They know when they went too far. Yeah. You mean to tell me when you arguing, with your partner there, and you say you didn't took it too far. You know the look on the face like, okay, that might have been a low blow or what have you. Or some people do it on purpose. They poke those little buttons to get it. I mean, no offense to you or anybody else, but women in general know the buttons to hurt.
Right.
Okay, I know when to get that one. I've been saving that, so it's time. They know how to push the buttons and everything like that, so they know the look and everything.
I don't know what you're talking about, Webb. I don't know what you're talking about at all. So, we don't do that. Miss Webb, we don't do that.
And she knows, what kind of stress that man's been going through, for the last year, and she knows it's her fault. But
it's not her fault. How could you say
it's most certainly her fault. If you, I
mean, absolutely. I know, now one person I know is my kid's father. Now, we ain't been together in 12 years. Honestly, I'm a whole different person. I can't say that, but we was together. Or when you're in a relationship with a person, you do know the person you're with. And because everybody, like you said in the beginning of this, that's not his character. So, no, she ain't know that. Ain't nowhere in the world she knew she was going to allow him. I'm your wife. I'm going to allow you. Now, honestly, I think she probably thought he was going to go up there and say.
You seen the smile on her face after it was over, right? She was cheesing. She was like, I did it, that men are simple creatures. We are very, very simple creatures. Women are complicated. Men are simple. So simple. We are like three little things: feed us, sex us, and respect us. That's it. That's right. If you do those three things, we good. We are really simple creatures. You can, we simple, and that's it. You take one of those away.
Now, after both of them laughed, if you watch the Oxford all the way through, they laughed. He got up and cried. He made a joke, but he cried. He joked and then he cried. They laughed through the whole. They sat there and they laughed through the whole Oscars to the rest to the very end. And so I'm not saying they didn't. But what I'm saying is, I honestly don't think that she thought that. Now, let me ask you this question. The end of your comment is you felt a certain way about his consequences. And part of what you said was this may ruin his career. Talk about that.
Okay. Will Smith has created a persona that it was squeaky clean. He's been rapping. He's actually a skilled rapper. He's a skilled rapper that don't cuss. He don't take the negative stereotypes and things like that. He don't rap about that. He don't rap, about under women's clothes. He don't rap about selling drugs and things like that. Squeaky clean and show that you can still make it, without having to take that route. He did that. Then he switched over to acting. He did the acting. He played mostly positive characters, strong characters that most guys would want to be, So just in general, that's all good. He's kept his name out of the media so much. You don't see him, getting drunk at some place, talking something. You ain't got no sound bites of him saying something crazy to someone and everything like that. That takes a lot of effort. I'm a person who has to be the same way. I have to behave in a certain way. Don't go out there and get in trouble. But I guarantee you got some video of me somewhere, drunk, talking crazy to a cousin or something, saying something I probably shouldn't have said, and it can get out there. And I don't even have cameras on me every day. He got cameras on him every day. So he's put in a lot of effort to create that persona. He is somebody, that I would look up to. I would always say, that's who you want to be like that. He's a guy that women want and men want to be him. That's just the nature of things. He had the pretty wife, that everybody wanted and everything like that. It was a good, wholesome image that was cool, and so that was that. And then he did the acting, and it's great. He's actually a very skilled actor. You can see his improvement as you watch the different shows as he in. He's getting better and better and better, right? Okay, so that's a part of his persona, being that that good, clean type of thing, right? Well, he just did something that is not only completely out of character, it shows an unbalanced, unrestrained emotional reaction. He did that unrestrained, unemotional reaction, and we don't let you forget that. We don't. It's going to be over. Television is going to be everywhere for quite some time. Just in general. There's a war going on right now, but you look on Facebook, it's going to be less about Ukraine and more about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. That's going to happen. On top of that, he won't be allowed to go back to the Oscars. The Oscars, I could care less. I wasn't watching it. I got it the next day. But the Oscars is like the highest award for actors. When you get that, it's say you can look at some of the videos or look at the posters. And they'll say a 5-time Oscar nominee. Dude didn't even win. His 5-time Oscar nominee plays this role. Just to be nominated is considered to be an honor for them. So he's up there at the Oscars. He won't be invited back. You can't be invited back. They want to kick him out then. He refused to leave. So he won't be invited back there.
Now they saying that that's a lie.
They saying
that
that he was never
asked. He was never asked to leave.
Well, I know they debated on whether or not to give him his award, which he wound up winning. Which I'm glad he won because he's not going to get another one. He's not going to get another one. You don't get a chance like that. And that was a historic moment. You don't do that. So he did some crazy business. You won't be invited back. And that's the highest award. You can't get it. Maybe they send it to you at home if they decide to give it to you. So you got that. And, like somebody like Cat Williams, he had to fight with the 14-year-old. That stuff don't go away. It's going to be out there forever. You unbalanced. And on top of that, I truly think that as long as he stays with her, he's gonna have a problem. Because if they had the open marriage or whatever they had going on and they discussed it in private, that's where it's supposed to be. Because like I was saying with the abused women, once they go and tell their friends all of the dirty stuff he's done, they always gonna see that. And when you go back with them, they think you a fool. Now your whole situation is foolish. And so when you come back, I don't want to hear that you go back with them every
Let me
time.
address that. I disagree with you on the fact that if a woman is in a bad situation, that she shouldn't talk to somebody about it. I think she should tell her friends. I think she should tell her mama. I should think whatever. Even if she goes back, I believe, especially in the Black community, we too quiet about it.
It's the manner in which you spread the word. Yeah, if you need to talk to somebody, like for counseling, you talk to your moms. You talk to a good friend, not the friend that gossips. The ones that just can't wait to hear that mess. But no, go talk to your moms. Go talk to somebody and speak in a manner of not that girl, he doing this, he doing that, and everything. Telling all the dirt about him. Tell them about the specific problem you guys are having, not the dirt stuff that you want to make him look bad at the time because you're mad. Because one of the things with an abuser abuses you, right? Then he comes back the next day or whatever, and he showers you. This is the first time when he beat you down. He showers you. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. I was mad and everything like that. Whatever he got to say to make that situation minimized, right? And your part in it is you go and tell people about it, and you get all upset, and everything like that. If it's my sister, my niece or something like that, you tell me about it, I'm mad as hell. I want to do something about it. Let's go square this away and everything like that. If I go handle it or if I get into it, and then you go back with them, I'm done. And what that does is, when I'm done, you no longer have my protection. So you're out on your own, because I'm not gonna risk getting myself in trouble when you're gonna go back with him. So now the abused person is alone. You know, they're alone out there and they have nobody, and eventually they tell everybody they do it until they have nobody to turn to. You know, and
Right.
so everybody's cutting them off, and now the abuser has you just where he wants you, no lifelines. He got you to himself, and this happens over and over and over again. He's got you to himself, you got
And
no
I
place to
totally
go.
agree with you, because the first thing that somebody, I've been through abuse, not my kid's father, but I've been through abuse. And the first thing they do is isolate you from everybody else. They want you to themselves and they isolate you from everybody else. Because me and my kid's father was married twice, and in between I was abused. And that was the first thing he did. He isolated me from everybody else. Although what we're talking about has nothing to do with Will Smith and Rock right now. But again, like I told Well, we need to come back. We really need to talk about it, because domestic violence is real, and how you respond to it is real. If somebody put their hands on you, they will do it again. Now, unless they, like, going back, and y'all heard me say this before, those that follow me, my granddaddy hit my grandmother. The reason why I even post that second post, when I post that second post, I thought about my granddaddy. My grandmother and my granddaddy had an entanglement, as they put it. It wasn't consensual, right? It wasn't like Will and Jada where it was open, it was consensual, or it was not a situation where they didn't feel like it was okay for them to do what they were doing. But it was so my granddaddy did it, and I think maybe a while later, my grandmother left. She left. She went and was with this other man. And she came back. They got back together, and people, even before my granddaddy died, thought he was stupid. Like, why would you take her back? While I've heard this in our family talking about why, because women do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Women do that all the time. Even with my situation years ago, 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? With my situation, my kid's father had done cheated, I don't know how many times. But then when I did it, he felt like he just couldn't take it.
I hate to point out the glaring giant horse in the room, the elephant in the room. Men are women, and women are different. I mean, they are drastically different. I mean,
I agree.
And I mean, and it may not be fair. Those differences may not be fair, but they are most certainly there.
So what do you mean by different? What do you mean by different? Because you're a man, I'm a woman. Of course we do.
Okay. When a guy goes and cheat, it's a physical thing 9 times out of 10. We can walk into a room and a girl's like, hey, look, I don't want to know you, I don't want nothing like that, just want to have some sex. Great. Guy is cool with that. You ain't got to call me tomorrow. It's nothing, because it's just the physical action. That's all a guy, really do. Whereas on the other hand, when a woman goes and step out, to go cheat, it's 9 times out of 10 an emotional thing. It's more, it's a more of a thought out type of thing and everything like that. The guy did it because he's weak. I mean, that's really what it is. If you're a cheater, you just really weak. You have a lack of willpower. You may need some self-aggrandization or something like that. That's really what it is. A guy.
I agree with that.
It.
It's more physical with men, right? It's just about, they not looking for nothing deep, especially if they have a good woman. Now that's not always true. If they feel like something is lacking, they're not necessarily getting with this female to fulfill that lack, unless the slack is sexual. You know what I'm saying? I do agree with that. Sometimes women do it. Well, I'll say even most of the time, women do that, and it's not just anybody. Yeah. But so I mean, that's my answer to that. Like, so just because we made differently, and it still don't make it like.
No, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right, but if you
It's kind of
ignore,
like walking up on stage and slapping somebody.
yeah,
You know, in Oklahoma, infidelity is against the law. I can sue the woman
in a lot
that
of places,
slept with,
in a lot of
yeah,
places,
that
they got
slept with my husband,
laws that look
that
like
got
that.
in
Yeah,
between my marriage. You can sue them.
but
So, you know, because marriage is a covenant, but it is actually a lawful covenant. You know what I'm saying? It's not just you get married, it's a lawful covenant. So in Oklahoma, they got laws where if a woman or a man, if somebody get in between your marriage, they sleep with your husband and get in between your marriage, you can sue them.
but men respond to that type of thing a hell of a lot different than women do, just
What do
in
you mean?
general.
Oh, you mean they get more angry?
Yeah, that is, for a man, that is like a far larger betrayal. And that's, I mean, it's not fair. But it is. It's
It depends on the person, though. You talking,
well, let's go with the majority of the men. I know quite a few men. I got homeboys, I got friends, and everything like that.
and that's why
They do
I
it. They
think
think
that
it's
the
cool.
response is what it is. That's why I think that men is responding the way that they are responding. I
We
think
think
men is responding the way they responding because almost every man jumped on August. And this has nothing to do with August.
it does.
This has nothing to do with August. This actually have everything to do with, if you go back and listen to that clip, that I wish I had that clip. My daughter is laying here in this floor. I wish I had that clip. Rock talked under her clothes. In that last award, he talked under her clothes. So
She talked under her clothes.
Chris
She talked
Rock
under her
did.
clothes. You remember that? She talked under her clothes. She got in front of the world and said she had an entanglement. You don't need to tell who you having a relationship with. You don't have to
August said
clarify.
it first, though. Well,
He can say whatever he like. He's a guy. She confirmed it.
They are, just like you said a minute ago, they in the spotlight. When somebody says something, you have to deal with it. Like you have to go,
So if somebody say, somebody say, the day slept with my wife or something like that, I'm supposed to, go
you're
out
not
and
in the
say,
spotlight.
oh, okay, that's what you don't. They didn't have to clarify that, and she definitely didn't have to do that. Come to the table, put him there in the front of it. A situation like that.
He might have wanted to, though. That's going back to the protecting thing. He might have wanted to. He might have wanted to tell his side of the story. Like, nah, I was about to leave you.
Guys don't want
Like
to put
he
that.
might
Guys don't
want
want
he
to put that.
wanted it to be not okay. I was all the way okay with the situation. No, this almost broke our marriage. He might have wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
No, remember when I said I saw Will Smith as this person up here, and then he kind of dropped that. It didn't drop when he slapped him. It dropped a year ago when his girl put his business out on the street like that. That's when it's like, damn, when you thought he was up
Because
here
that's
and it dropped down like that.
But I'm gonna say this, and this is my opinion. That need to change with men. My thing is, women are put up on this pedestal that we have to sit on, right? Y'all men can go and whoremonger around and do whatever they want to do. And what you just said a minute ago, that's just a man. Let's talk about Chris Rock. Let's talk about Chris Rock. That's why women is responding the way they are responding. Will is standing by his wife no matter what. And it's like you just made the comment almost to the point like he needed to divorce her. Why? Because she slept with another man. You don't even know how many women that Will done slept with.
No, that's the whole thing. You don't know. And that's the whole thing. He is the guy they're known for, all that kind of stuff there. He is the guy, and you got no names whatsoever. At some point, they sitting at that table, he's getting like that, getting put down like that. He never once mentioned anybody's name and everything like that. He never put forth anything.
Because he was not supposed to.
What? Man, I felt so bad for the guy, sitting up there. She got to clear the rumors. Man, that is not necessary. So right now, most people look at him like a duck. Okay, and that's what it is. And that's sad, but that's what it is. They're looking at
Men
him like
do.
a duck.
That's
Yes.
why we on here right now, because especially Black men, I feel like that has to change. That
No,
really has to change. Just like
we're
with
talking
me,
about,
I'm a
hundreds of
mother of
thousands of
6.
years.
I'm a mother of 6, and the first thing that somebody might think is, oh, you wild, or you this, or you that. Kind of like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was somebody that we went to school with. They posted under this post as well. I invited them as well to come on here. I invited you and I invited them. This guy literally went up. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. Y'all go on there and y'all can figure it out. I'm not gonna say yes that it was them. But I mean, this guy literally said, here's the thing, Kalisha, if we serve the same God, like, first of all, as if I don't serve God because of the post that I put, we should be on one accord what a husband and wife is supposed to be doing in the Bible. You totally divided, and no, let me go back. We totally divided. No, this is the post. Let me read it. I'm gonna read what I was finished. We totally divided. Your definition, you need a thug, a tyrant, a Lil Round, a Wody. This is what he told me that I need. Because I post the post I put, that must be the woman. I need a Wody, I need a thug. Proving your love isn't physical nor violent. That is our main problem in the Black community, and it's a plague with violence. And you're condoning that behavior, saying that that's what a husband's supposed to do. No, ma'am, God ain't. I did not say it was okay for him to hit him.
He took that
when
wrong.
when I post that post, what I was saying, because so many people started talking about August. I wasn't talking about he walked up there and slapped him. That post was about the fact that although both of them cheated, most men will walk away from their marriage, walk away from their children. You done slept with 20 women. This woman slept with 3 men. She might not slept with 1, but 9 times out of 10, it was 1. She slept with 1 man, and I ain't finna go how I feel about that, but she slept with 1 man, and then he was supposed to walk away from his family.
No, that's not. Nobody's saying he should have walked away because she cheated. He should have walked away because she put it on television. She felt that the need to put it on television.
But you have to realize August put it out there.
That's no, but you can't control what a guy does. That's why Will's in trouble right now, because he figured he can control what somebody else do. He figured he can stop that man. He's lucky that man wasn't a gangster. Sometimes these guys, you out there, thinking, he a punk, and you're gonna learn on public TV and get whooped, or get shot, get killed, because you're trying to prove to a woman. Come on now. That's a
and again, I totally agree with you that he shouldn't have done what he did.
But he did it because that was an overreaction.
Say it again.
That was an overreaction.
I totally agree.
That was an extreme overreaction. Why was there extreme overreaction? Because he's been under so much pressure from the last year or so. That's what
I don't think it has nothing to do with August. I think it has everything to do with Rock. Let me tell you the other statement that the young man said to me. The comment above was generalized statement. But he said you never said you personally, but majority of Black women lay up with thugs. That is not a true statement.
No, it's not.
You're from Louisiana, so you think that way. I'm from Louisiana, and if you're still in Louisiana, you might be looking at, but I live in Oklahoma. I live in Texas. That is not a true statement. If you don't think it's a melting pot right now, it's crazy. That's facts. This is what he said. It's facts. Look at your circle of women. I mean, he literally prejudged me. I bet you don't have any baby daddies that are doctors, me, lawyers, even workers of the federal government or state. Like my kids is a whole bunch of baby daddies. This is what he said. So I'm not lying. It's just we have a problem with, and you have a problem with me saying that. And I told him no. Both my best friends, one of them, husband worked for the city of Denham Springs, and the other one works for the government. I'm gonna say it like that. So, and both of them are accountants. Both of my closest friends, I'm an accountant and they're accountants. Now, I have other friends. I have a friend, she's an RN. You know what I'm saying? I have another friend, she got a master's in psychology, and you know what I'm saying? But he assumed, because I wrote a post that my circle of women are with thugs. I've never dated a thug,
Well,
even when we were in high school.
No matter where you are, if you are in a certain environment, you assume everybody's in a certain environment. You know, so that's where he is. And we we look at these social media things and we think that's the world, that's the highlights of our lives. But until I moved out of Louisiana, that's how I thought this whole world was like that. Once I moved somewhere else and I realized, the circle's much bigger, and things are a lot different, But I mean, that just shows how simple-minded he is. I really didn't even deserve a retort. He just, they got some ignorant folk
Well,
out
once
there.
I told him my circle of friends, he had nothing else to say, because you assume, first of all, my last name is Eccles, and I don't say that, but my uncle, when I was a child, played professional basketball. Our life was always on the spotlight. I say I pull my driver's license out in Baton Rouge. They asked me, is my uncle this? You know what I'm saying? So I remember my family sitting us down saying, you represent my granddaddy say you represent my name. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm saying all that to say that, I think it's a misconception when you saw them women on the reel. You saw this Asian woman say how she felt. You know what I'm saying? And, as a woman, and I heard Bishop Jakes, I sat on a Bishop Jakes for 8 years. And I will say that he probably gonna say that was wrong and blah, 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 blah. And so I'm not saying Bishop Jakes would ever say anything to condone that situation. He a man that like all 90% of y'all that agree with it. I mean, say that what y'all said to Will, and almost 90% of men agree, and they all saying the same thing. But I will say the one thing that he did teach is we need protection. Mm-hmm. We need you to protect us. We need you to provide for us.
Was she in danger?
We need that. And I'm not talking about, I'm an accountant. My kid's father worked 3 jobs and it still didn't account for the money that I make. But I still needed him to bring in the money. I didn't like, that's the first thing. Was he broke? No, my kid's father worked 3 jobs to take care of his family. So, it's like, it's this stereotype but we have to be protected. Women I got to feel protected. If I don't feel, that's even with my past, like when I went to the Potter's house and I was under Bishop, I got to feel protected. My brother, you know what I'm saying? My brother, you know what I'm saying? I gotta feel protected. You know what I'm saying? And this man keep digging at me. It ain't even about August. Because August, we did that. That's what we did. Because when anybody had an entanglement, you know what I'm saying? That's what that was. Because honestly, my situation wasn't that I wanted to be with the person. We had an understanding, number one, that, this can't get out. You see what I'm saying? Because that ain't what need to get out. But at the same time, I wasn't leaving my kid's father. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't leaving him. I wasn't leaving him for you. I didn't expect that person to leave who he was with for me. It was an entanglement. That's all it was. It was probably a year-long entanglement. I wasn't going to be with multiple people. But if that's what it was, and that's all it was, and that's what we said it was from the gate.
You know why she called it an entanglement? Because she didn't want to. She didn't want to call it a relationship. She didn't want to call it something. That was her way of standing back, and distancing herself from it. And Will called her on it in the conversation. No, you need
Right.
to see what actually what it actually is. You need to
Right. Right.
be upfront with it and everything like that. So okay, we talk about protecting our women and everything like that. Anywhere I go, or any scenario when I'm with my wife, or any female, they know they are safe. Nobody's gonna come over and hurt you. Nobody's gonna do that. In general, the way a man protects a woman from words and things like that is you keep her above reproach. That's what you do. You keep. You don't talk under her clothes. You don't. Guys, when guys talk, they.
And you don't let nobody else do it either.
No, wait, no, they. That's
And you
why
don't
they
let nobody else do it either.
That's why
No,
they don't.
you don't do it, but you don't allow it. Ain't nowhere in the world. My daddy, you know my brother. You know my brother. Ain't nowhere in the world my brother finna let some dude. I done told you, dude, to not say nothing to my wife. Don't talk about her. Don't say nothing to her. Keep out of your mouth.
It sounds good in theory. Who's gonna protect you after I'm dead?
What?
My job. Who's gonna protect you after I'm dead? My job is to protect you and everything like that. My job is also to dictate and keep a level head so that I can stay here protecting you. Nobody's gonna come and affect you while I'm here. I guarantee you that.
I absolutely agree.
Going out, that's like when some these thugs out here be like, I do whatever it takes to feed my family. So they go out and rob someplace. To feed their family. You go out, rob somebody, feed the family. The family eats that night. They eat that night, but then they go to jail. Now they are unprotected for years, at a time. So as a real man, as a wise man, you got to know that line to travel. Nobody's gonna come here and affect us. And you are, insult my lady verbally. I'm gonna talk about your mama. You're gonna do it, everything like that. Now, when we go back and forward, it might provoke you enough to come and get you some of this here, But just in general, we can't go and jump at every little verbal comment.
And again, I agree. I think I absolutely agree with you that he was violent. He was over the top. He shouldn't have done that. I totally agree. I think that I pray that you see from a woman's perspective.
Oh no, I do.
I'm not saying all women, but I could tell you 100% of women that I talk to in private saying what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, of course.
Saying what the women saying on the real. Now you got some people out there like Sonny. I totally don't agree with Sonny. I even cut off because I was like, sweetheart, please. Because, but, and it's not about the accolades that this man stood up with me. No, we gotta have it. And that's from my daddy, that's from my brother, that's from, if I'm standing something right, I could tell you, let me give you this example. One of my sisters, we have a family chat that's nothing but me and my siblings on my daddy's side. One of my sisters, one of my sisters, something happened with one of my sisters, and it was bad. Somebody had done something to one of my sisters, one of my older sisters. My kids used to always have my phones, because I had 2 phones, and they would like, so every time they was posting something, the notification come up, they was liking it. And I was asleep. I ain't know nothing going on. I wake up, I'm going to work, going to Dallas County, going to work. And I'm looking at I had a whole bunch of text messages from Facebook messages. I was like, dang, what's going on in the family? So I jump in the chat. And one of my sisters go off on me. They like, you think you all that, all this and all that and all that. Why would you like this? This girl did this. Somebody jumped on one of my sisters, and blah, 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 blah. And they was going back and forth and she was going off on me. You ain't responding because you scared and all this and all that. My brothers, and I'm going to tell you something. If my brothers didn't do this, especially Lebon Higgins Jr. Now, anybody else, but Lebon, I would have had a problem with him. Like, you let this female come at me like this, and this a female. So, and this is my sister. My 3 brothers in this text, in this chat, went clean off on her. When I ain't even have to say nothing. Well, when I got up and I looked at it, I said, oh, that. And so my brothers got in there defending me. They was like, Kiki ain't even like that. Like, she not like that. So it's something, it's one. And then my brother was like, one of my other brothers was like, you got to be around her to know she don't even never have her phone. So one of them kids probably doing that. This my sister. No, she is doing it. And y'all think she perfect and all, they was going off. But my brothers was like, so then Levon Jr., Lee Jr., when he said, I will come to Oklahoma, what you want to do? What you finna do is get off my sister. Now, do I want him to put his hand on my other sister? No, that ain't what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I watch my brothers come to my defense. Why? Because they were protecting me. Because they know, which, you know what I'm saying, just even like going all the way from high, this person that was talking to me in that Emax is from high school. And I was like, you must really don't know me if you ever think that I will be with a thug. Like, I might come off a certain, I don't know which way I come off.
Why do so many women go with thugs? It's an easier response. It's because they are peacock and they appear to be, strong. That's all. Because it's human nature. Women want to go to somebody who they feel protected with, so they go for those. Yeah, I'm bad. Look at me.
But
I got my pants hanging out my butt and
I
everything
don't,
like
and
that.
I do know that.
No, I'm not saying that it's you. I'm just saying, it's a simple, calculation of why, so many of those get it. And so, believe you me, I know.
But all
My
women
wife likes it
don't
when
though, and it's like it's like we threw
actually,
in a category.
no.
Now I
Some
do
women
want
can
you to
recognize.
protect me though.
No,
I
some
don't give
women
a
can
damn if you
recognize.
Chris Rock.
No, some women can recognize, the difference between somebody who's tough, who's really tough, and actually, somebody who's a good protector. How many times, you see, these gold digger videos or whatever, where somebody's going after this guy because it appears he's a certain way, and it turns out he's weak. He may not be a strong person, but he's a good provider. And so it's a difference on, what you define your features that you need, in general. I know for a fact, as long as I've been alive, I've had more than just, one lady, and they all like it, when you get aggressive on their behalf. When you say, bro, you
Not
say one more thing, I'm
necessarily
gonna bust you.
aggressive. It depends on what you mean aggression.
Okay, aggressive, show some aggression, on their behalf. Show some, say, bro, just get aggressive. They like that.
Let me tell you something. Even if he didn't get up there and slap him,
yes,
I believe that if Will would have walked up there and said, "Give me this mic," and started going back and forth with him, it would have been enough for her.
Yeah, he could have.
You know what I'm saying? If he would have stood up and said, "All right, now keep us out your mouth," anything, or he would have gave him a look like, "Dude, what you want to do?"
Exactly.
Anything like that. Even I don't think that we do need that protection. Whatever that is. Whatever.
He didn't protect her. She wasn't in danger.
She was.
No, she was in no danger. There was nothing that he didn't recognize what was danger. She was insulted.
Right.
When you an insult is one thing. If you put somebody in some real danger, that's a protector.
That's
somebody
because
who
you
every
deal
time,
with danger every day, so you see it that way.
real danger. Yeah, so I can recognize real danger. And
I felt like that was real harm though, in to her, that she felt verbally abused.
No. She got an insult. She's issued some insults.
She was verbally abused though.
She's insulted quite a few people in life or whatever, and so if you can't be in that spot,
I don't agree with that. Even at the table talk, I don't feel like she insulted people. I've watched it.
So you don't think
I thought when she did it with I was gonna be done with table talk when all that stuff happened with Gayle King again and Snoop. When Snoop made that comment and he like called the female out her name. And he was dead wrong. And then Gayle King kind of came for him or whatever. And then Snoop went off about it. And so then when she brought him to the table, I thought that she was finna go up a certain way with it, but I was really happy. Like, she was like, you know, you don't disrespect a woman like that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, you know what I'm saying? When Snoop called out her name, you don't go there. You know what I'm
I take a
saying?
different
The
approach.
problem I have with Gail though, Gail never apologized because she felt just same thing with Chris Rock. She felt like it was her job to ask Lisa Leslie about a dead man infidelity, or I mean his sins when he was a child, like when he was young. You see what I'm saying? This man dead, and you bringing up, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody got mad. I got ticked, like, man, don't talk about Kobe like that. You had every opportunity while he was alive to ask him that question. But now you gonna put Lisa Leslie in that position. And I think Lisa Leslie handled her business, but at the same time, I think Snoop was all the way out the box calling Gail probably what a lot of people wanted to call her at the moment. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like she handled that situation. I feel like Jada brought it back together. And I'm saying that to say at that table, no, I feel like she felt like she had to talk. Just like right now, if my situation came out, I mean, it's been 13 years, so it don't matter to me. And I'm not married to my kid's father no more. But if we were married,
And only
then
then
it would have to be a conversation. Why? I got 100,000 people following me. So I can't just say, I'm gonna let this blow over.
No, you at no point is it gonna be okay to spill that, especially while you're still married. And certain things like Snoop Dogg to say what he say. Okay, Snoop Dogg is a gangster rapper. You kind of expect that from him. Gail asking these jacked up questions. Her job is to interview and evoke emotions. So for conversation, that's her job. Chris Rock, his job is be a comedian. He's up there to make people laugh. So doing what you're supposed to be doing. Even though it offends me, I used to have to work Southern concerts when they had the comedy show, and the last place you wanted to be was that officer who sits down there right by the stage. Nobody wanted to be that person. Why? Because the comedian, all of them was gonna say the same thing. Man, look at you in them tight pants and everything like that. You gotta smile. Even though you won't snatch him off that stage because he ain't on your level. He's a punk, in my opinion. You can't what? But I know I ain't got a mic. I don't have a mic. It's only gonna get worse if I say anything. So I gotta sit there and take it and everything like that. That's the comedian.
Right.
That's the comedian.
And again, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's, again, and I know we probably going around in circles. I don't think that it was about comedy because Will is a comedian. So I think it was the fact that he kept on snagging at him. So I guess I'm gonna give you final words, and then I wanna, after Webb say this, I'm gonna show you Will's comment and how did he respond. Now, some of you probably saw Chris Rock, the video of him responding, and he said he don't know how to respond to this right now. He got stand-up shows, and he said whenever he think about it and how he deal with it, then he's gonna respond, but he don't really have words right now. But I will, for those that haven't seen Will post, because now I do want to say this before I give Webb his final words. I don't think that it's over for Will's career. I don't think that this is gonna stop him. I even think that I pray, or what I desire to see, him and Chris Rock turn this thing all the way around, make money. Because I done seen other people, I will put it like that, turn a bad situation or what could be a bad situation into positive. Because I can tell you right now, if they get control of this situation, they can make some killer money. You know what I'm saying? And they can, whatever. I'm not saying that they got to be the best of friends, but just like they said, Chris Rock ticket sales done went through the roof because of this situation. So all I say is, I pray these two men, just like when we were kids, because that's why I believe the Bible says to come to God as a child. If we keep a mentality of forgiveness, and the reason why I say it like that, if you put yourself in a position where you can move forward from a situation, because children, think about when you was a child, when you was if somebody hit you, you hit them, two boys, if they punch each other, they got in the middle of the thing and they rolled. When they got up, probably 10, 15 minutes later, 30 minutes, hour later, they done forgot about it. Regardless if everybody around the school saw it or not, you'll see them as children turn around and turn that negative into positive. Now, can we do this as adults? I don't know, because a lot of it is pride, a lot of it is shame, and rightfully so. I'm not saying. I believe that this thing could be turned around to a positive. Well, what you think?
It can most definitely be turned around to a positive. There's always the possibility, of that happening. Guy's a great actor. Chris Rock's gonna go and talk about this. He's gonna have to go and talk about this. He's got to. That's what his job is, to take what happens in the world and make a joke out of it. So there's got to be.
I don't think he's gonna make a joke out of it unless they do it together. I don't think he's gonna make a joke out of it.
No, I think he's gonna make some jokes about it. Otherwise, if he don't make any jokes about it, he's gonna be the joke. They're gonna it's gonna turn on him. As simple as that. A comedian can't be that's off limits. That's not how that works. If it's out there, it's in the front, you got to talk about it. That's what a comedian does. That's what a good comedian does. So he's got to make some jokes about it. Got to be. He can apologize, but he still got to make some jokes about it. Will, yeah, he can do this, but I can tell you, as long as he's standing next to her, he's gonna be a joke. I mean, he's gonna be a joke. He can't stand next to her. After that table talk thing, she put the business out there like that. He can't stand next to her and have any kind of pride. You're right. We do put women on a pedestal, and that's why you don't put when guys talk about the exploits with girls and everything like that, they never talk about the exploits with their wife, because that is sacred. She can do all kind of crazy things and everything like that, but that's sacred. It's private. It don't go anywhere. Once it's out there in the street, you are considered weak, and that is the worst thing you can have a man be considered weak. He will lash out. He will fight. He will do it to prove otherwise. Or the only option is to take that monster.
You still feel like Will is weak?
What? Definitely. No
Every
doubt.
woman feels the opposite.
Yeah. Because he did the peacock move. He did the peak, but all the guys see him. All the guys looking at it as he's weak, because we can see it plain as day. You're not even mad at Chris Rock, like you wasn't even mad at him like that. He made jokes like that. He went up there for a display, and every guy out there, he's gonna. Do you know how many guys, how many comedians are about to talk about her bald head now? He better be ready to fight. They're gonna be calling him out on a regular basis.
Honestly, I don't think none of the comedians watch. I don't think not a comedian finna talk about her head. Now,
I don't think one comedian is not gonna
the only comedian that would do that they have a problem with Will. And I'm telling you now, I'm telling you right now, not one comedian, male or female, is fin to say anything about her hair.
You must don't go to comedy shows. They're gonna talk about her head. They're already talking about her head. They're talking about I heard somebody.
You talking about social media. I'm talking about people that's in serious spotlight.
Watch.
They not finished do it.
Mark my words. They gonna do. I seen alopecia. I know what alopecia look like. Yeah, she got a ball. No. They gonna talk about her, and they most certainly gonna talk about him. Just in general, and the reason why they're gonna talk about him is because of her. Him going to slap that man, that was a joke. You slap this little man. Chris, his whole doggone show is about getting picked on. You wouldn't slap, that's nothing. You don't get no credit. You don't get no credit for, pushing the guy in a wheelchair. You don't get no credit for beating the guy up on
Man,
purpose.
Chris ain't in no wheelchair.
He's a kid. I mean, he's somebody who is not a threat whatsoever. Him
He
walking
older
up there,
than Will.
that's not better. That's worse. He's smaller than Will. He's older than Will. He's somebody who is never said. You have never heard him say anything about fighting. You never heard him say anything about, yeah, I went over there. Never, not
Will
once
not
in his
no
whole
fighter
career.
either.
He's not, and that's why he can't get no credit for that. Everybody knows he's not a fighter, so him doing that was just out of line.
Right.
So basically, he could have went up there and slapped a 10-year-old child and would have got the same kind of respect. So no guy is gonna respect him. That's a joke. They're gonna try him now. They gonna push the issue. Yeah, I bet he ain't gonna come do that shit to me. Sorry, that type of thing. No, that's what he's gonna get, because that was inappropriate. I mean, if he'd hit somebody who was willing to fight, or maybe if Chris would have fought there, maybe they could have had something. But he can't get no respect. So as long as he's standing next to her, he's not going to get any respect. He lost that respect.
I totally disagree. And that's why we had the battle of the sexes, you guys. We had the battle of the sexes because everything he said, I disagree with it, And I believe that most women, they got a small few that don't disagree with what I'm saying, but most women, 100% in private, agree with what I'm saying. So right now we're going to the comment that Will said, and as she's preparing it, I want y'all to go back, share this, go back, look at it, and allow this to and think about the different perspectives from men and women. Go ahead, Aubrey. Will said, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at the last night Academy Award was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are at a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of a man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, and all the attendees and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and the King Richard. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. So at this time, I want to thank you, Brother Webb, for coming on with me.
Well,
I do think that we need to come back and talk about domestic violence because it is a real, I'm telling you, during the pandemic, it was over the top. Listen, I thank you all for tuning in on tonight. We went way over than I wanted to. I wanted to do it for an hour. We went for 2 hours, but I think this was a 2 hours worth it. I think that if you go back and watch this, you listen to everything he said, and you listen to everything that I said. Listen, because sometimes when you're talking, we can't listen. Listen to the perspective of a man and listen to the perspective of a woman. And I want you to take in both of those things. And as people, not Black people, not white people, not Asian, and Hispanics, whatever race you are around the world, I want you to take in what we said, because how I communicated today, I'm telling y'all, all the women that I talked to about it said the same thing. Like, they was like, he deserved a slap and he should have stood there. You know how many women told me that? Or they felt like, man, he protected her, and we are grateful for it. As a woman, this is the last day of International Women's Month. And I am so glad on the heels of it, the very last day, that I am able to get on here and talk about this today. because as a woman, we need to be protected. We need to be protected. Now, should we have a man walk up on national TV and slap? No, absolutely. Assault is wrong. But men, hear me today. As a woman, we have to be protected. Go and be blessed.